Michael, great to be here with you today to have a chat about what to do from a pre-preparation to ensure our auctions are really successful. Specifically around buyers and getting them ready and prepared for bidding strongly at the auction.
Yep.
So let's talk about, I guess that's the Friday, is it? And clearly it's led up in the campaign to the shortlist now and what you do with it on that Friday.
Yep.
Yeah?
Absolutely. I think the Friday is super important. Obviously, a lot of the buyers that we're speaking to, some are really experienced. So we meet buyers who have done it 3 or 4 times in the space of 2 months, and we're also meeting buyers who have never done it before. So it's important really to treat each buyer to their individual circumstance. It's important to contact every single interested party though prior to the Saturday to explain to them obviously where you're going to start the auction, if they bid before at auctions, if they would like some help during the bidding at the auction, and it's really circumstantial as to how the campaign's going as well.
Yeah, fantastic. So they're the interested parties that have identified themselves during the campaign.
Correct.
We might do a bit of role playing on that, and
Definitely.
I'll pretend to be one.
Yeah, sure.
What else do you do from an email inquiry, texting and so on?
Yep. So email inquiry needs to be done. You need to email every single person that has emailed you on the property. It's really surprising sometimes how often those buyers then re-engage with you potentially on the Friday night, and they might pop along, or if it's a land-based property, they might have forgotten about the property, and it's just a gentle reminder that it is going to be auctioned the next day. Obviously, SMSing is important as well. Just SMSing the parties that have inspected the home again. You want the crowd to be as large as possible, whether they're buyers or not. Often, that perception to the interested parties that there's a lot of people there who are interested.
Great social proof.
Yeah, it can often push them to think, gee, I might need to stretch that a little bit further.
Yeah.
So you want to get as many people there as you can.
So what's in the text?
So in the text is basically what time the auction is, the address of the auction. It's not necessary to delve too much into what the property entails. That's probably more of an email type thing. But it's just a gentle reminder as to when the auction is, where it is, what time it is, just in order to build the crowd size.
And do you frame it that you came through this property in there?
Occasionally, I mean, it's up to you. It's really it's a personal preference. I do frame it, so I'll say thank you for inspecting X property. We are auctioning it tomorrow. There are some agents who purely put just auction tomorrow at the time. Realistically, I think when people see the address, they'll realise that they've inspected the home.
Yes.
Hence why they've received a text message.
Yeah, fantastic. And then in the email inquiry, because with some of these people, it has only been email. There's been no phone number given to you at all.
The email inquiry is a great opportunity to delve into it a little bit further. So I'll basically say thank you for your recent email inquiry on X property, have a property description. So just before the property description, I'll say that the property's been auctioned tomorrow at X time. We would love to see you at the property, and then I'll have a link to the property, so directly through to the Marshall White link or the individual web page, not to a realestate.com or not to a domain so they're seeing other properties. It's either to the Marshall White page or the individual property website page, and then from there it's I put photos on there as well, so that if they don't want to click onto it, they again can see the photos, a short description, and then basically my details.
If you've got any interest,
Correct, yeah. So it's a nice prompt, and I think again, if you're interested in the property and you're an interested party and you're seeing that you're receiving an email, you probably have to think, well, a lot of other people are receiving this email as well, and I might have to be a little bit more competitive tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. I think the other thing is it's one, a great service to the vendors that you're doing it. It's a great service from a buyer's point of view.
Yep.
And if someone's sitting in there who came through the property to check you out, it's a fantastic way of being able to come back and saying, hey, you are walking the talk, you're doing what you said you're going to do.
Correct, yeah. When you sit in a listing presentation and you say, we dot every I and cross every T, and then a vendor experiences that, it's extremely powerful.
Yes.
So
no stone unturned to make sure we get you the highest price the market's willing to pay.
Exactly right. And you can use, when you say you do those things, they say, I've experienced that. So it's a matter of doing it on a consistent basis though, because there's no point one agent doing it and another agent not doing it.
Yeah, I was just about to say that could be, it could be an issue if you say we always do this, and they say, well, hang on, I went to a Marshall White Open 2 weeks ago and that didn't happen. So this is the consistency of everyone within Marshall White honouring this and following this particular path. One, it's good business, and two, it means when you say it at a listing appointment, it doesn't matter who they've been in contact with. Yes, I've had that experience.
Yeah.
I know that's who you are.
I think that's the thing with all of the Marshall White, the Marshall White Way, for an example.
Yes.
You've just got to trust that everyone's on board, and I think that's why we send a consistent message within the company, hoping that that consistent message is delivered from every single agent that's representing the brand, because if we are consistent like that, it's going to make our jobs to list properties much easier.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Impact is huge. So that's a great way of readiness. Let's now talk about those interested parties.
Yep.
And maybe we actually jump into a
Sure.
role play.
Sure.
And I'm not going to look at you because we're on the phone.
Okay.
So, hello.
Hi, Michael. It's Michael Woodphoning from Marshall White. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, Michael.
That's the way.
Yep.
Just wanted to touch base, check in before tomorrow. First and foremost, are you excited?
Yes, we are. Well, it depends on what the price ends up going for. We'll be excited at a certain point.
Of course. Well, obviously, we've been quoting 2 to 2.2 million all the way throughout the course of the campaign. And as I mentioned to you, obviously, when we caught up on Thursday, that you're probably going to need to be towards the top end of that range, which you mentioned you were comfortable with. Right. I just wanted to talk about a couple of things prior to tomorrow, just to lock that away.
Yeah, sure.
Now, the good news is I know you requested the 120 days, which I've had approved from the vendor, which hopefully enables you to bid that little bit further.
Okay.
Now, if it's passed into you, obviously those terms then come up for negotiation again, but you can bid out the front if it's free of reserve, knowing that you can have the 120 days, which hopefully that's helpful.
Great. And the 5% deposit?
5% deposit's fine. That's not an issue at all. Given it's a longer settlement, the vendors don't have an issue with that. So that, again, we're trying to just do everything we can to enable you to bid, which is great. We'll probably start the auction, if we don't get an opening bid, we'll probably start the auction at around $2 million as an opening bid or a vendor bid, obviously at the bottom end of our quoting range, and we'll probably take it in $20,000 rises from there. Michael, can I ask, have you bid at a Marshall White auction before?
No, I haven't actually.
You haven't? Okay. Have you bid at an auction recently before?
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
Okay. So just want to reiterate the rules of the auction really quickly for you, so you understand how it works. If we pass it in, if there's bidding and it's passed into you, for example, and you're the highest bidder, you get the first and exclusive right to negotiate. So it means that we won't go and negotiate with other parties until the negotiation with you has finished. So if you wait, or if you don't bid and another party bids and we pass it into them, then we can't necessarily speak to you after the auction. So realistically, in order for you to purchase tomorrow, the best method is going to be to bid and to bid aggressively. We do protect the right of the highest bidder vigorously at Marshall White, and we really want to help you buy the property. So I just wanted to explain that to you and the way that it works. Did you have any, questions around the way that the auction works at all yourself? Or?
No, are you expecting the property to pass in, are you?
Look, we're expecting multiple bidders, which is good. So we've got 2 or 3 interested parties. You're one of those interested parties.
Right.
We're expecting bidding. I wouldn't say we're necessarily expecting it to pass in, but some properties do pass in. So I just wanted to reiterate, if it does, that's the way it works. And there really is no point.
It's important to be in that highest bidder
There's
position.
no point in holding back. Some buyers think that it may be beneficial to hold back and wait, but I can tell you a lot of those buyers walk away from auctions disappointed, and I don't want that to be you tomorrow. So obviously we'll auction at 10:30, open from 10 o'clock, and look forward to catching up with you tomorrow.
Okay, fantastic.
Excellent. No worries at all. See you then, Michael.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
No worries.
Great. So the reason why I asked that question in there, expecting it to pass in,
yes.
On that call you wouldn't do. There's really 2 scenarios.
You could definitely do that. So you could do the 2 scenarios and say that we're expecting
strong bidding.
If there's strong bidding and it passes over the reserve price and you buy it out the front, that's great. I think that realistically, with what we're experiencing at the moment in the current market, we really just want to emphasise that buyers need to bid to buy.
Yes.
I think that
I actually like that. Do you mention that to clients? Bid to buy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a great line.
Yeah, you have to bid to buy it. So, just re-emphasise in situations, give them a bit of a case study where we've had buyers in the past who haven't bid at auctions and they've walked away really disappointed. And I don't want that to be you tomorrow.
And they would have paid that. They would have paid, but for whatever reason they didn't.
They didn't have the opportunity to negotiate.
Yes.
Because they didn't bid.
Yeah.
So that's basically what that call's there to do. Again, it can be a different call depending on the scenario of the auction and how many interested parties you've got. That can be a very different call if they're the only interested party. because you might say that there's someone looking, with the intention of bidding with a finance clause, which they can't do. So if you're the only bidder, then we'll only negotiate with you in the first instance. But if you don't bid, then we can negotiate with that buyer who might be prepared to pay more, but they can't bid at an auction because they haven't got their finance sorted. So that might be something you say if they're the only interested party. But it's very case dependent.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Great. Well, that's a very important conversation. So typically they take, 5-10 minutes per buyer?
I would say 10 minutes is probably a little bit long.
Yep.
Again, it depends. They might throw some curveball questions at you, but by this stage you should really have the deposit sorted, as we did. We should have the term sorted, so there's longer settlement, shorter settlement. It's not ideal to be trying to organise things on a Friday night at 5 o'clock if a buyer can have 120 days or 60 days or whatever it may be,
so
or
really
a 5% deposit.
It's a confirmation.
It's a confirmation call.
And then reminding them you've got a bid to buy and you want to be in a position to either have secured the property, we're popping the champagne with you.
Correct.
Or you're in the box seat to be able to negotiate post-auction to secure the property.
Definitely.
And get you out of house hunting into home ownership, mate.
Correct. And one other thing that actually one of my colleagues mentioned to me this morning, funnily enough, would be that you can also give them the option to have assistance during the auction. So you can do that the day before. So we're going to have a number of agents at the auction tomorrow. Would you like some assistance with the bidding? And if they say no or yes, if they say no, I'm fine. Just say, look, that's not raised at all. If there are other agents working with other buyers, don't be offended. We offer it to all of the interested parties. So understand you're going to be able to do it yourself.
So, great. And if that changes, just speak with me in the morning and I'll organise someone for you.
Spot on. Spot on. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, that is a great pre-preparation.
Excellent.
Well done.
Sounds
Appreciate
good.
it.